Joey Logano has upset plenty of NASCAR fans through the years. See supporters of Matt Kenseth, Kyle Busch, and William Byron. But those were for his on-track actions. The two-time Cup Series champion's recent remarks on the NASCAR fan base being spoiled unsurprisingly upset a lot of other fans, including Door Bumper Clear podcast co-host Brett Griffin, who didn't hold back and blasted Logano in a special Christmas episode. The Team Penske driver has responded and didn't sugarcoat what was on his mind. Throughout the season, Joey Logano regularly appeared as a guest for his Behind the Wheel segment during the morning drive show on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio. Typically, each appearance included revisiting the weekend's previous race and previewing the upcoming event and expectations for the number 22 team. In addition, the driver would address various other hot topics of conversation in the garage. In one of his final appearances in 2023, the subject of fan access came up, and Logano had thoughts.
Our fans are spoiled, and I love our race fans, but think about other sports for a second. Think about it. When are you going to meet an NFL player? Can you access an NFL plaer?
Nope.
Anytime, like 3 hours before a game? No. You can.
Well, maybe if you're Taylor Swift.
Maybe, yeah, okay. Maybe if you're Taylor Swift.
One exception.
But you can meet me 20 minutes, 10 minutes, 5 minutes before I get in the race car. You can take a picture with me. I am there. And all the other racers are the same thing. We walk down a red carpet, and there is people on both sides of us, and all the drivers stop and sign autographs, or at least try their hardest to, right? It's hard to get everybody, but you try your hardest to. That is the norm in our sport. That doesn't happen in any other sport at all. So to say we're not accessible is wrong. That is not the case at all. We are very accessible.
Logano's remarks unsurprisingly made headlines, and they were a talking point during the special Christmas episode of the Door Bumper Clear podcast, which included Tyler Reddick as a guest. Co-host and veteran spotter Brett Griffin, who's been known to say some controversial things of his own, addressed the subject and blasted the Team Penske driver.
That can't happen. I'll say it. Joey Logano is full of shit. Okay? He's full of massive
shit.
Massive because what he's saying isn't true. Fans 8 years ago, pre-COVID, pre-recession in 2008, they were accustomed to Tyler Reddick. No offense to you because you're younger, you don't remember these days, but Tyler Reddick's caliber of driver would be doing 60-plus public appearances a year. And he would be doing them in grocery stores for Monster. He would be doing them in Hooters restaurants. He would be doing them all over the place that the public can get to. Now the sponsors are not spending the money to fly the drivers in because the return analytics have changed. What's important to the sponsor? It's not getting 500 people into a grocery store anymore. It's completely different. So, like for Joey to sit here, who grew up rich as hell in the Northeast, who raced his whole life, who came down here, races now, he said NASCAR drivers make a little bit more money. The they do. How much money does Landon Huffman make a year racing? How much money does Joey Logano make a year racing?
So, Brett,
don't tell me. I'm not done bitching yet. Hold on a minute. So don't tell me that our fans are spoiled because they are not spoiled. They're accustomed to – a fan my age is accustomed to being able to meet Bill Elliott at McDonald's at University area by UNCC after qualifying from 6 to 8. That's what they're accustomed to. Joey Logano probably don't sign. Okay, how many times does he go to Planet Fitness a year to sign autographs? How much money is he making to do that? Good for him. He's not doing it as often as he was when he got here. Once he signed his 7-year Pennzoil-Penske contract, COVID hit, he went missing.
With the season over and Christmas just days away, it would have made sense had Logano not responded and just let the controversy fade away and focus forward on the upcoming 2024 campaign. However, that's not what Logano did. He appeared this week on the morning drive on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio and specifically said one of the reasons was to address the firestorm, which he said was the result of remarks that were taken out of context. During this conversation, he responded directly to Griffin's comments and didn't sugarcoat what was on his mind.
When I hear what Brett Griffin said on that podcast, attacking my character, just made me say, this guy does not know, and he has a microphone, and it's a bad feeling to hear all that, that somebody will make up things to get attention. And that's really frustrating from my perspective, but it also is the world we live in a lot of times these days. Right? I mean, how do you make money if you're in media? People got to listen. And how are you going to get people to listen? You got to put some edgy stuff out there to get clickbait and get people to listen. Unfortunately, I was a target of that because of a comment that was taken out of context. That was the frustrating part. Bottom line is, I care obviously because someone attacked my character, but I also understand that some of it's just life, and if people don't really know you, you kind of just got to move on. But I also wanted to clarify it here that I love my race fans, and I love all the race fans, right? Love me or hate me. I'm only here because we have race fans, and that's why we give them the great access.
While both Logano and Griffin are pointing fingers at each other, it's interesting to note that both are right. It's undeniable that NASCAR fans do have more access to the drivers compared to the athletes in stick and ball sports, as Logano suggested. That said, the amount of access has declined in recent years, as Griffin mentioned, because, as he noted, the business model has changed. Sponsors are no longer interested in driver appearances like they were in the past. The sport is changing. That includes the rivalries. Who would have guessed you'd have a two-time champion defending his name against a spotter in his remarks on a podcast? Times are definitely a-changing.